So I've been trying to come up with different video ideas, and one thought that came to mind was to do some sort of recurring story time sort of idea where I can tell you tales of my life in the hopes that they sound at least somewhat interesting, so I thought I would give that a shot today. So to start off this story time idea, I thought I would tell you guys about a dark time in my life. It was a nightmare of a sleepover called Purity, Passion, and Pearls. Purity, Passion, and Pearls is a Christian event hosted by the religious community of my town where 100 some odd 8th grade girls are brought together and 3 main topics are discussed. Purity, aka your virginity and saving yourself for your man. Passion, as in your love for God. And Pearls, or etiquette on how to be a proper lady. So I'm sure you can imagine that this was a little out of place. So let's begin. My mom drops me off. I was immediately miserable upon entering. Great start. Right away they take all of our belongings, leaving us with nothing. Now, I was about 12 at the time, and I'm sure any other preteen with a vagina can understand that when you have your period, the first few years are pretty much filled with fear of bleeding through all of your clothes. Now, of course, I was about to start mine, so having all of my menstrual products whisked away with no idea of when I would get them back scared me a little bit. Okay, a lot. Luckily, they had thought about this beforehand, so they put a small bucket of about 10 pads and tampons in the bathroom for 100 girls for the whole event. They were gone within the first hour. Moving on. They split us up into groups, and of course, I am with none of my friends. In fact, I'm with a group of intensely Christian girls who are all best friends with each other. How perfect. This night is getting better already. They took us around to different stations. I guess these were supposed to boost our confidence or something, but all they did was enforce ridiculous gender stereotypes. We went to a mani-pedi station, and then we went to a spa station that was literally just us putting cucumbers on our eyes for 5 minutes. So we moved on to the next station, which was makeup. I don't wear makeup, and I expressed this to the woman who was assigned to me, and she said, okay, that's fine, I'll give you a natural look. This lady needs to go out and buy a dictionary because she does not know what the word natural means. I had so much makeup caked on my face. Oh, so bad. I happily moved on from that station and we moved to the next one, which was hair. Unfortunately, this was before I chopped all my hair off because I would have loved to see their faces if I walked in looking like this. So they curled everyone's hair and they used too much hairspray. We went on to a few other stations, blah blah blah. Let's fast forward to the most outrageous event I have ever been to. At this point in the night, they had brought about half the groups together, so there was probably 70 girls sitting on the floor of a gym, and they showed us a film that was comprised of interviews of 3 young men describing their ideal women. It was so ridiculous. All of the men described their perfect girl as being pure and saving herself and whatever. It was really obvious that they were trying to brainwash all of these girls into being a particular kind of person. But the worst part was one guy who explained that his girlfriend must be Christian. Now this is fine if you want your partner to share your faith because that can bring people together. That's cool, whatever, do you. But he explained that the reason that his girlfriend must be Christian is because any other type of woman is bad, has low morals, and should be avoided at all costs. So I, the big atheist elephant in the room, just rolled my eyes as my hatred for the night grew further. And then suddenly, from behind a curtain, emerged these 3 men from the film. They walk around the room and they hand each of us a rose, acting like big shots, like they adore the fact that they got probably half of these preteen girls to fall in love with them. It's at this point that I really wanted to scream, but I resisted. Now let's fast forward again, past the dinner where I had to third wheel with my friend and her dad, past the fashion show that they made us sit through despite the fact that we really wanted to go to bed, and finally, we got to go to bed. Our sleeping bags were set up in this large open space and all of our belongings, and finally I was reunited with my pads, and atop our belongings was an envelope each filled with a letter from our own mothers. So we sat down to read these. Tears. Tears everywhere. 95% of the girls there were sobbing. And of course, my mom writes me a funny letter, so I'm laughing amongst all of these weeping girls. I don't even remember what my letter said exactly. It was probably my mom apologizing for sending me to this thing. I don't know. I just know it wasn't sad. So I go to sleep, and then when we wake up, I all but launch myself into my mom's car so she can drive me home away from this hellhole. Oh my god. It was just such a I can't even explain or convey how weird this night was.